Okay, so if you're a parent of a child with special needs, you already know. You know how demanding this journey can be. That's why today we're going to talk about something that, let's be honest, probably gets pushed to the very bottom of the list, taking care of you. And I really want to stress this. This isn't a luxury. It's an absolute, non-negotiable necessity.
Listen to this. This comes from Candace, a mom who's been on this path for a long time. She says, "Those early years were a whirlwind of uncertainty and fear, and even now those feelings occasionally return." Wow, I mean, doesn't that just hit home? That whirlwind feeling, it's so real. And if you've ever felt that, I just want you to hear this loud and clear. You are so not alone.
And you know what Candace is talking about? It's not just a feeling, it's a reality, and it's actually backed by a ton of research. The emotional weight of being a parent to a child with special needs is it's immense. So the very first step before we do anything else is just to acknowledge that, to say out loud, okay, feeling stressed, feeling anxious, this is a totally normal, expected part of my journey. Giving yourself that permission is huge.
All right, so before we can even think about solutions, we have to get really honest about the problem. Let's just dive right in and talk about the real emotional toll of all this. Because honestly, understanding why you feel the way you do, that's step one. That's the foundation for everything else.
So, what's causing all this stress? I mean, where does it even come from? Well, it's not just one thing, right? It's this relentless storm of pressures. You've got the financial stuff, that alone can keep you up at night. Then there's this incredible pressure for early intervention to get everything perfect. And on top of all that, you have to be a constant advocate. It's exhausting. And yeah, it's a perfect recipe for feeling completely overwhelmed and, sometimes, totally helpless.
But here's the thing. You are not helpless. Not at all. So let's pivot. We've talked about the challenges, now let's talk solutions. This next part is all about actual practical strategies, real tools you can start using today to build up that inner strength, that resilience from the inside out. The goal here isn't to make the chaos disappear, because let's face it, that's probably not going to happen. The goal is to find these little pockets of peace inside the chaos. And the really good news? There are actual, science-backed ways to do this. These aren't just feel-good ideas. They're techniques that are proven to work.
Okay, first up, mindfulness and meditation. And I know, these can sound like trendy buzzwords, but stick with me here. There's real science to it. These practices literally calm down the emotional center of your brain, the part that's in charge of fear and stress. And the results are so tangible. We're talking better sleep, lower stress levels. Who doesn't want that?
All right, here's another really powerful tool. It's called cognitive reframing. Fancy term, but the idea is simple. It's about changing the story you tell yourself. So, instead of thinking, this is an impossible situation, you shift your focus to, okay, what's one thing I can control right now? Or what's one possible solution I can try? It's a small mental switch, but it can totally transform how you feel, moving you from helpless to empowered.
And look, let's not forget the basics. This doesn't have to be complicated. We're not talking about booking a week-long spa retreat, though that would be nice, right? The key takeaway here is that even just 15 or 20 minutes to yourself can make a huge difference. Seriously. A quick walk around the block, 5 minutes of quiet with a cup of coffee. These tiny, achievable actions can have a massive impact on your stress levels.
So building up that internal strength is absolutely crucial. But, and this is a big but, you don't have to do it all by yourself, in a vacuum. That's where your support system comes in. It's so important to remember that you are not supposed to be doing this alone. And let's be super clear about this. A solid support system isn't just a nice to have. It is absolutely vital. It's a lifeline for your mental health. It's that feeling of connection that directly pushes back against the isolation that can so easily creep in.
So you're probably thinking, okay, great, but where do I find this support? Well, there are a few amazing places to look. You've got peer support groups. These are huge because you're connecting with people who they get it, no explanation needed. Then there's professional counseling, which gives you a safe space with an expert guide. And please remember, for those really tough moments, hotlines like the 988 Lifeline are there for you 24/7.
Now, support isn't just about talking. It's also about practical, hands-on help. And that brings us to maybe one of the most powerful and, honestly, most overlooked tools for preventing burnout, getting a real break. And that, my friends, is where respite care comes in. It's a game changer.
And it is so important that we're clear on what respite care really is. This is not just getting a babysitter for a few hours. This is a planned, intentional break from your caregiving duties. It's your time to rest, to recharge, to actually take care of your own health. Think of it like plugging in your own battery before it hits zero. It's a vital part of your overall wellness plan. Of course, the biggest hurdle to taking that break is trust, right? I mean, finding the right person to care for your child, it's not just important, it's everything. It's the key to actually being able to relax. So I want you to feel totally empowered in this search. Be picky, be selective. Your peace of mind is worth it.
I know this whole process can feel like a mountain to climb, so let's just break it down into 3 simple, manageable steps. First, just start the search. Use online tools like the Arch National Respite Locator or just ask local disability organizations. They know people. Second, look at all the different options. It could be in-home care, a facility, maybe even just trusted family and friends. And third, when it's time to interview someone, be direct, ask the tough questions, watch how they interact with your child, and please always check their references.
And this is really where it all comes together, you see? All these tools we've been talking about, the self-care, the support system, the respite breaks, this isn't just about surviving day to day. This is about transforming your role. It's about moving from being a worried, exhausted caretaker to being an effective, energized, and empowered champion for your child.
You know, let's go back to what Candace said, because she just nails the ultimate goal here. She said that getting the right information transforms us from concerned caretakers into effective advocates, negotiators, and planners. That's it, right there. When you take care of yourself, you get back the energy and the clarity you need to be the absolute best, most powerful advocate your child could ever have.
So I want to leave you with this simple question. And please, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to cost any money, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just, what is one kind thing you will do for yourself this week? Because at the end of the day, taking care of yourself is one of the very best ways you can take care of them.